So the other day I was having a conversation with a gentleman who's been having some issues with his body. Perhaps you can relate if you've ever been frustrated with your body or something that it either does or doesn't do for you, right? And the question I asked him was, have you ever had a talk with your body? And his answer came fast: no. And so but this wasn't a weird question to him because he knew exactly what I meant, that his body exists as a part of himself. And so we had this brief discussion about a belief that I have, an experience I've had, that ourselves, and I'm even saying that in plural, like there are different aspects of ourselves, right? For me, for example, there are different parts of me. There is my body. There might be an angry part. There is a saboteur part. There are a whole bunch of Stephanies. They're not even Stephanies. They're like separate identities happening and vying for my attention. And so we discussed this briefly in our conversation, and he said to me, "I'm so glad you said that. More people should say that there are parts of ourselves." And I said, "Oh, really? I should say that more often so people think I'm psychotic?" But in my experience, it's been really, really effective to dialogue with the different parts of me. Because I have this hallucination that we can get these diverse parts of ourselves playing on the same team, that we really want the same things. After all, they are the diverse aspects of self. And that if we get them talking, we can actually have some cooperation and maybe can negotiate some things instead of what we normally do, which is we bury the voices we don't want to hear. And for me right now, there is one self that's been coming up because I've been deliberately tuning into who has a message for me, who needs some attention that I'm not paying attention to. And I closed my eyes. I was doing this in meditation, and I got this image of this demonic imp. And I'm talking like The Ring here. It was dragging itself along the ground. It was like a, I don't know, almost just newborn or something, but like with teeth. And it was not a happy little thing. And I said, okay, I'm going to have to listen to this part of myself. So stay tuned for the messages that come from that. But regardless of all this, I really believe that if we communicate with the parts of ourselves we haven't been giving attention to, there's really something to be learned. And in fact, it can help relieve a great degree of the stress that we are under. And so hopefully it's not too soon to share another Rilke quote with you, but this is a really good one. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act, just once, with beauty and courage. Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love. So what if we stop fighting the negative voices for a minute and just listen to them and recognize that they're just voices? Because a lot of times when I pay attention to those negative parts of myself, it shifts. There's even an exercise that I've done. You can do this on your own. You can do this with someone else. You just close your eyes and imagine yourself in a very safe place. And then ask, what is the part of me that has a message for me today? And see who shows up. And ask some questions. What is it that I'm most needing to know? And trust yourself. Don't be afraid. Even voices that are angry or sad, depressed, fearful, they just want a little attention. They want to move. So this is what I'm challenging myself to do today. And maybe for you, you could do the same. You could ask yourself, what is the message I'm most needing to hear right now? The one that I'm not listening to. And see what happens.